Hey guys, it's OK.Fishing. I'm Christian.
I'm Jaden, and welcome back.
So today, we're on episode 9 now. We're kind of looking for stuff. Our our thoughts are kind of changing. What we're thinking about right now, like we're gearing up for kind of the end of the year. What we do, what we love at the end of the year. You know, the start of the year, we're focused on a lot of fishing, and so today we're going to get to what we start doing right now and what you should start doing right now if you want a successful hunting season, especially if you're hunting white-tailed deer. This will be very I hope it will be helpful. We have experience, trial and error. There's many things that I've done that hasn't worked, and many things that I've done that has worked tremendously. Um, and that's what we're gonna go into today. And I hope you guys enjoy. Let's just get right into it. So, for our backwards bulletin, we have talked about this a couple times, but uh, the Oregon hunting ban has came out. Jen, if you want to talk about that.
Well, they didn't succeed, so Oregon's still gonna get to hunt, fish, farm, do all that stuff. They didn't even they didn't even make enough signatures to make it to trial. All the
Yes.
people in Oregon smartened up, did the right thing.
So they needed, it was, I think we said 118,000 votes uh, to actually make it to the ballots. So they did basically voting. And if they would have succeeded, uh, let's see if we can find a number. The Oregon Secretary of State's Election Division completed its signature verification process on Friday, so this was 4 days ago, and determined that the petition does not contain sufficient signatures to qualify for the ballot. So they had more than they needed, but what actually qualified? So, like, a lot of those signatures were for people outside of Oregon and or younger adults that or younger teenagers that didn't have like voting rights. So obviously it was knocked off. They came through. I think the final count was supposedly 140,000. So obviously after they knocked it down, they lost well over 20,000 votes. So there was quite a few votes that were outside of the requirement. Okay, here we go. Only 104,262 or 73% of the 142,000 submitted signatures were valid. The petition needed 117,000. So they got 13,000 less than they needed. Now the question is, do we think we'll be seeing this in the next upcoming election for Oregon? Like, will they try and vote this up again to get it on the ballot? I think they will, or maybe they'll wait another year. But like with this progress they got, obviously they got pretty close. I can imagine there'll be a greater push for it now.
They just need to wait for their voters to grow up.
Yeah, they just need to wait for the 40,000 people to move to
to
Oregon.
to move to Oregon or turn 18 so they can legally vote.
Yeah, so that's what they're waiting for. But yeah, they were basically 40,000 less. 40,000 of those people were not eligible to vote. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and finish up on that. I know a lot of stuff has came through iCast. We haven't. We had basically last week to talk about it. We talked a little bit about it, but I'm kind of looking into like some of the stuff Yak Attack's coming out with because that's a bit more like I don't know. Uh, but I was looking at some of the motors. There, I don't know if you saw it, but there was this motor called E Propulsion or something, and it was like supposedly 8.3 miles per hour is what it could get up to, and it had these big batteries, and it won some kind of clean energy award at ICAST. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was basically a new trolling motor that is a smaller, lighter package, but still as powerful, arguably more powerful. 8 miles an hour, that's pretty fast for a kayak. My buddy, with his trolling motor, he gets up to maybe 5 miles an hour. In fact, I can go faster than him with my pedal drive. But the difference between me and him is he can just stay on that speed. If I go faster than him, you get maybe 100 yards out of me and I'm done. But, uh, you know, got some interesting stuff coming out. I was seeing, like, I think what interested me the most is the little cup holders they have, the gear mounted cup holders. There's like accessories coming out for them, and it's making me want to buy one of those cup holders even more because you can just use them for trash. They even have little accessories that you're gonna be able to hang your pliers on, and just little things that'll make it a little nicer without taking a bunch of space. And I think Yak Attack's probably leading the industry in those kind of rail mounted things. But there are a lot of other companies out there, and I'm thinking for a video soon, I'll discuss this with you, but we review products we have used. Like we review products you can buy at Walmart. Are they worth it or are they trash? I've bought quite a few different things for my kayak from Walmart, and I can kind of tell you like is this like for example I bought multiple rod holders. I've bought a dry box. I've bought two of them. I've bought an anchor rope. I've bought a paddle holder thing. And I guess we should make a video on it, but we can kind of go into it. That way people, when they get a kayak and they're looking to make their kayak a little nicer, they will know, like, what can they spend their money on and what should they just avoid. And I think we can do that. Well, let's go to catch of the week. So we did another test guide. So we brought out another guy to see if we could land him on some fish. And we did. We actually got him on. He probably caught 8 fish or something. At least 6. I think he caught at least 6 fish. But he caught quite a few. He did pretty good.
A variety of fish, too.
Yeah. It wasn't just hybrids and sand bass. He caught
he had a catfish.
Yeah, he had a catfish.
Had a largemouth.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he caught a smallmouth, but he did
had
catch
one.
something else.
He got it up to the kayak.
Oh, the one that came off the hook.
Yeah.
Yes. I felt so bad because I watched that happen.
He reeled it up a little bit too close and didn't have enough slack.
But he did pretty well, and so he's our catch of the week because he's not a huge fisherman. He's arguably a city boy. I feel bad saying that, but he doesn't get to enjoy the great outdoors like we do, and we're trying to kind of convince him into kayaking. And he actually told us this is the second person we've taken. 2 people. Well, technically we took her mom out, and she said the same thing. Every single person we have taken out for free because we haven't made any money on this yet. All 3 of them said that they want to buy a kayak. I think that is exactly what we're trying to do. It's not about putting people on fish, but about getting people comfortable and getting people to get into this growing industry because kayaks are really fun. You can strap it to the top of your car. You can toss it in a bed. You can get a trailer for it. Like there are people that use my kayak and drive around with a Honda Civic and have it strapped to the top of their roof. Like I I don't see you strapping a 17-foot bass boat to your top of your roof. That might be a little harder, but a
I'd
kayak.
give it a shot. I'd give it a shot if I had luggage racks.
You just gotta back up fast enough to drop the boat off, and then getting it back on. You have like a little ramp you fold out, and you put it in the water, and you just hit it full
You
speed.
just put a snorkel on the car and just back her down in there and push it off.
Oh man, oh man.
I'd try it if I had luggage racks.
Yeah, that would be funny to see someone. But where there's a will, there's a way. I seen someone who put a kayak in their trunk, and get this, a Mustang. They just stuffed it in the trunk and tied it down, tied the trunk down, and kind of. They could have strapped it to the roof, but I guess who wants to put roof racks on a Mustang? But they made it work. Like you, you wouldn't want to do that with another type of boat. You want something light and easy to do if you're going to do those crazy things. So I think that's also what our channel is. We're trying to get people, I got Jaden to buy a kayak. And, well, first I got me because I wanted a kayak. And then literally, I'll just talk about your brother. He said he isn't gonna buy a kayak. He went out on my kayak, and like, what was it? Less than a month, he had bought 2 kayaks. Like, it's the thinking about it. It doesn't sound fun because you're on a tiny boat. You can't go very fast. You're the power, but in reality, when you get out on that boat, you're a one-man machine. Like it's you versus the water. You don't have to worry about a lot of things. You just gotta worry about catching a fish. And as long as you don't have too heavy of a kayak and uh, just in general just are good endurance, you can fish the whole day and be happy and survive. And catch some fish. That's what's important. Just getting off the bank and landing some fish. And the pay gap. It's a lot cheaper to buy a kayak than it is any other thing. Now, you could find a good John boat with a gas motor probably cheaper than what I paid for mine.
I paid $400 for mine.
Yeah. And my grandpa, that little John boat, I think he paid $125 out there. But it was just the boat, nothing. Well, it had the seats, but obviously it was.
Mine was just the boat, and the guy took me to sign the title and everything over the day I bought it.
That's nice. Uh,
He actually had it listed for $600, but he's like, if you'll come pick it up today, I'll take $400. And I was like, I will come. I'll leave work immediately.
yeah. So, do you want to go ahead and? I think that's enough. I mean, let's get on to gear on the table. So, let's hear it. What's gear on the table today?
Well, let me find the exact model real quick. But we're gonna talk about mine and my dad's favorite tree stand style.
So while he's looking for it, I'll kind of discuss what I want in a tree stand because I have had the personal experience of falling before. And if you're going to buy a tree stand, specifically a double tree stand, make sure you buy one. If you don't necessarily know much about the brand, just look at the construction. You can pretty well tell, like, if it's good construction by how thick the metal is. Obviously, it's a heavier stand the thicker the metal, but if you're getting a thicker build, it's going to be a better stand. Like, I think that's the importance. Open space, and I've hunted in multiple 2-man stands, and the most comfortable 2-man stand I've hunted in is more open. It doesn't have a swinging door, but or a swinging gun rest, but it is really comfortable. Okay.
Let me pull up a picture so they can see it.
What did you say it's called?
It is the Summit Dual Pro Crush. So, it is a two-man ladder stand that me and my dad have hunted out of together.
This is it right here.
No, the two-man one. The
This says dual threat. It just is the wrong picture, I think.
Nah, this one's the Dual Pro Crush.
Okay, so it looks like that right there.
But it's a two-man ladder tree stand that I think it's got a weight capacity of like over 500 pounds or something like that. But me and my dad have comfortably sat in the stand together. Two crossbows, two rifles, doesn't matter, with our backpacks and everything, and still have enough room to be comfortable. And not to mention the durability of it. It's fell out of a tree, like no fault of the straps or anything. We were in the process of trying to get it strapped and the wind picked up, but it fell super hard against the ground and it had bent the rifle rest a little bit, and we bent it back and it, like, you can't even notice that it's ever been bent before. Like, and that's fallen the full weight of the stand out of the tree on the flat ground.
So it comes with that pad there, and I got a question for you. Is that pad waterproof? Like the water just falls right off of it, or does it soak up water?
So it is waterproof to an extent. The kind of annoying thing about it is the seat itself don't soak up water, but the cloth around it does. So the cloth will get wet, and it takes a little longer to dry out because it's got waterproof foam underneath it. So it's basically just sitting inside the fabric.
That's what I'm worried about because
But we actually
carry your own seat with you.
We actually swapped out the seat and put an Ameristep brand tree stand seat on there, and it seems to do a lot better.
Okay.
I paid like $10 for the seat or something like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty good looking stand from the looks of it.
But I think comfort wise, if you're in drier conditions than where we hunt at, because we get a lot of unexpected rain during hunting season. But if you're in a drier spot, like towards a drier spot in Oklahoma, that without any adjustments, that stand would be perfect. But in our area, just upgrade the seat. I paid like $10 for a new seat, and it's golden. Like, it's the best stand we have on the property.
And one thing I do, and I think you guys had the same seat. In fact, I might have one in here. No, I don't. But it's probably somewhere in here. But you buy like those pads they sell, and you can just carry it in when you're hunting. Mine, I'm able to stuff it on my fanny pack, behind my fanny pack, and then it will hold, and I can walk in with it and not have to sit there and hold it. So if I see a deer, I have my rifle ready. It's not uncomfortable, you just. And it's nice because it does keep it dry. So I have left it on the stand before because plans of hunting the next day. But then it rains that night, and so I go that next morning, and the seat is soaked, and it sucks. It really does. I think you have the same brand too as me. Like I saw them; they're like black with the camo rims.
Yeah, Ameristep.
Yeah, I don't know the name, but it looked identical.
We have their ground blind, a couple of their ground blinds too. They're pretty nice.
Yeah. Are they like the 180 degree or 360 or?
These ones are a 180. These ones are ones we bought just because they were on sale, and we're like, may as well.
Yeah.
We bought them, and we actually like the windows on them because there's no zippers or sliding or anything. It's actually a bungee cord. Like, it just clips on. It's got like a little plastic hook that's sewn into the fabric, and you just pick up that bungee and just hang it on there. And
Does
we've
ri-
had two of them, and we've had them.
does Rhino do the same thing? I feel like I don't remember a zipper on the Rhino. I feel like
They
it was
do,
something.
they do, but the rhino ones, are, I found out we've went through a couple of them blinds. They just don't seem to hold up to the weather as
Yeah.
well. But those Ameristep ones we have, we've got two of them that we've had. Let's see, going on 6 seasons now.
Yeah, that's pretty good. My grandpa has a Rhino, and we don't bust it out every season, but like it's decent. My only complaint is it's short, so I couldn't hunt with my recurve out of it. I went to bow hunt out of it and got in it, and the recurve is literally like to shoot it. I would have to shoot it like this, basically with the limb on at basically on the ground, but then I can't get it over the window. So I would have to learn how to shoot like this instead of straight up and down to be able to shoot out of that blind. And I
Yeah,
think if I get another blind, I'm probably gonna get like a
get a tideway.
get a 4-man, something taller.
My dad's got a tideway, and I think it's a three-person blind,
Yeah.
and that thing's got like a, I don't know, like 8-9 foot ceiling or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Really?
I can stand in there and I can't touch the top of it.
Okay, that's what I need, especially if I want to hunt recurve, because
And he actually didn't pay a ton for that.
what's the name of that 360-degree blinds?
That's it right
Tide
there.
away.
It's $150 for the size he has.
Yeah, don't they sell these at Atwoods?
I don't know,
I feel like I've seen these at
but
Atwoods.
usually if you can find them on their website, yeah, like see, it's a $319 blind and they're on sale for $150 right now.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at right now.
Like Paul, like Julie had literally just bought mine, and she paid $129 for it. And Paul goes around 2 weeks later and buys it, pays $79 for it. They have sales on them all the time. And the cool thing about them is you can take a side off and connect them together.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Well,
Make the super hunting dome out of that.
um, and for the people that are hunting public land, I know we're talking about stands, and obviously you might be not
you're
wanting to carry
you're
stuff.
allowed to. Just
You might not want to carry something in, so find a cedar tree and sit next to the cedar tree. The cedar tree will mask your scent. That is what natives have done for a long time. So find a cedar tree. Really,
my uncle still does it now.
yeah. That's that's like that's like the goal, or be in an area with a bunch of cedar trees, especially if you have a cedar tree downwind of you. Like say the cedar tree's here and an obvious steer trail is here, but sitting in the cedar tree would put you 30 yards from the trail. Just figure out where the wind is. If you hunt on right there into the trail, is the wind gonna blow your scent that way? What's it gonna do? That's kind of the question that you're asking. So just just kind of figure it out, and you don't need a stand. It makes it a lot easier to kill a deer, but I have killed a deer with no stand, and it's not like no stand, no blind. It's not impossible. You just can't move as much. You got to be real.
I've killed a deer the past 3 seasons off the ground.
Yeah. See, be like this man.
It's gotta have good camo.
Yeah, you gotta have good camo, and you gotta have make sure you don't move a lot.
Like you you could buy whatever camo you want. We buy Walmart camo, but make sure the camo matches the area you're hunting in. Don't be sitting in a pine tree wearing oak oak tree camo. Like they're not stupid. They could see they're not
Yeah.
they can't perfectly see a person sitting up there, but they see your silhouette move, and it doesn't break up your silhouette as good if your camo don't match your surroundings. Like you really need to confuse their eye.
Well, let's get into our main topic. And we're going to be discussing how we prepare for deer season because it is coming and it is coming quickly. So you need to start getting cameras out and you need to start prepping your land for feeders. If you plan on baiting, the earlier you can get your feeder out, the more used to that feeder deer are, and they won't think like a deer will like, hey, this food has been here for 2 months. I feel pretty safe here. But if it's a week before hunting season, the deer find it in 2 days, and then 5 days later, all of a sudden they're smelling something, they get spooked. They're connecting that bait pile with humans. But if that bait pile's been there a long time, they're gonna think like, this is natural. They're not thinking, hey, this is a guy that's setting me up. They're gonna think, ooh, food. You know, that's that's why you do it long term. And
Also, I want to throw this out there: if you are hunting public land, none of this pertains to you. Don't bait on public land; you will get in trouble.
yeah, if you're going to bait on public land, uh, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
uh, it's not
Don't even try stacking up some acorns in a pile. Nothing. If you even if you didn't do it, they if you're sitting near a pile of acorns, you will catch the blame for that. I assure you.
Yeah. If you want to be able to hunt deer in public land, you're just gonna need a lot of scouting.
You're just gonna
That's
have to you have to grind it out. You
that
have,
and
you're gonna have to walk or boat in there, something like you're gonna have
hike.
to get in there a ways.
Yeah, hike 2 miles in, and hopefully you'll be safe.
The Oklahoma public land, there's some big deer off in there. You just gotta find them because the Orange Army usually has you beat.
Yeah. The worst part though is getting into public land and you're sitting in your stand and then it's like 10 minutes to legal shooting time and then someone's walking by you getting off to where they're going to hunt. That's like literally the worst thing that can happen.
Oh man, we've had one time. He stopped, looked at us, realized we were there, walks a little bit farther, stops again, sees if he can still see us, realizes that he can still see us, and we're like, all right, man, come on. And then he goes and just probably 20 yards away and sits down. I'm like, now you are a total of maybe 50 yards from us, man. Like, I could, I could see exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I could see you, and you walked right through this whole area. I guarantee you ruined this hunt for all of us, like, including yourself.
Yeah, people just don't know how to be respectful. You know what they say in golf? Obviously, you don't play golf, but they say don't walk on people's line, which means there's the golf ball and there's the hole. The line is in between that. So obviously, don't walk on their line because you can put a dent in the ground. The golf ball hits it and misses because of the little tiny dent. Same thing. If you see someone hunting, try and avoid the area. Don't spook them.
Try to be courteous and
Yeah. If
give
it,
them, like, if there's no way around it, there's no way around it. But if you have the whole woods like this guy did,
yeah.
do not walk straight underneath them and then keep stopping every few feet to make sure you can still see us. Like, yes, and you're creating a whole scene that the deer are not going to ever come around.
Yeah, you're it, just if you're going to be the person to do that, just don't hunt.
I think we
Like,
only sat for like another 30 minutes, and we're like, he ain't moving. He's already walked through the whole area. We may as well just call it.
yeah. Well, what's next? So we're discussing feeding. I guess you can go ahead and go into it, and I'll get into more what I kind of do.
If you don't have a good food source, you're gonna have to supplement that by corn or whatever. But like a food source is a must, and a good water source. If you're hunting land that doesn't have a water source, try to build one, make one of some sort. There's different videos, tricks on how to do it, like a kiddie pool buried in the ground or something like
Yeah, I've
that.
seen people do like those, like that bin right there. They'll bury those in the ground.
But if there is no water on your hunting property, there in peak bow season, it's still warm outside. Deer are drinking a lot of water, so they ain't really focusing on food. They're more focused on water sources. So if you don't have a water source on your land, they're finding that water somewhere, and it is not going to be your land. So if you anything you can do food and water wise to draw them in, it gives them a reason to want to stay there. If they don't have a reason to stay, and your neighbor's doing something that you're not, they're gonna be at your neighbor's house. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna choose where they're pampered and have the easiest life possible.
And if you are hunting public land and you're considering where to set for your hunt, like obviously maybe you're hunting in an area that doesn't have a water source and you can't bait. Like for example, I can't bait behind my house because I have cattle and I have a horse and they will just eat the corn. So I mostly hunt where the food sources are, the natural food sources, like big acorn trees. Like if you're hunting public land, there's like a big cedar forest with pines and stuff. You might not want to hunt that as much as you'd want to hunt where the oak trees are, because a lot of times, if there's not like cornfields or something near the deer are just sitting there eating acorns, and that's where you want to hunt. You want to hunt. There's a name for it. What do they call those acorn flats? Oak. I don't know, but they're like
I have no idea.
they're good feet. They're good food zones. That's what you would want to hunt. And if you are able to bait, this is a trick, especially if you don't have a feeder, because a feeder, throws it out in a circle. But if you are dumping your feed, dump it in a vertical line from your stand, because if you do that, deer naturally want to eat on the shallow side. So if you put it like this way, like it's this long, instead of doing it here, do it here, and so the deer come from the side, and then they give you broadside shots, and I have
And spread it
done that.
around. Don't
Yeah.
don't just pile it up. If you're not using a feeder and you're just dumping it on the ground, spread it around like you could do the vertical line, but make sure it's like you're not leaving it in piles because
Yeah.
they will clear that stuff out so fast.
Deer absolutely
Like
destroy it.
you want
Yeah.
them to have to work for it, dig a little bit. You want to give them a reason to stick around. If they can scoop a giant mouthful of food and walk away, they're gonna scoop a giant mouthful of food and walk away.
Yeah, you want he's exactly right. Like don't have the pile that thick, have the piles like that, just enough corn for one layer, maybe two or three. But if you got like six layers stacked on top of each other,
Yeah,
yeah, you
especially
definitely
like
don't
I
want to
had
do that.
one last year. It sat there and couldn't do nothing. It was a little fun, but sat there and just clean up the corn piles. And then once he was done eating, he would just holler at everybody else, let them know, hey, don't come over here, and just leave.
Yeah, that was Mr. Fatty. He was a little deer. Sent me a lot of pictures, and I wish Jaden would have shot him. He had a bunch of these good aiming points that he could have aimed at, but obviously he didn't take the shot.
It was all, he didn't even have the nubs yet. He didn't even have nothing.
But yeah. So feed smart. Think about what the deer want to do. Do the deer want to eat in an open field? No, they don't. They want to feel safe. If you are going to feed them in an open field, put the feed right near edge lines because the deer don't like coming out in the middle, but they will just come out of the edge of the woods and poke their head out a little bit. That way, if anything happens, the woods is right there and they feel a lot safer. So that's another thing about placement, and you definitely want it in a good spot where the deer feel safe because otherwise the deer will only be eating there at midnight. And I have a lot of midnight pictures of
Another
nice
big
bucks.
another big thing is shooting lanes and trails in and out of your hunting areas. Like if the if you got a nice spot, you got a stand, blind, whatever set up in, and it's all thick around it, those deer are gonna have to struggle to get there. So they're gonna choose to not go there, or they'll take the long way around because it's easier to get there. But we've noticed everywhere that we mow pads for us to walk, not only are we walking through there, the deer are using those pads too. Like they're using them like crossing highways. Like there's deer tracks all through our walking paths now because now they have an easier path to get to the food and water sources. And in return, while you're sitting up there in your blind or your stand, all that thick stuff is now out of the way. So if there's a deer walking up that path, there is nothing to deflect your bullet or arrow
Not to
in the way.
mention, you can see them.
Yeah, you can see them and hear them coming. Like
Yeah.
before before like we had you mow up there, the first time I ever hunted in that area without mowing, there was deer there. I could hear them coming, but I never seen them coming until they were almost right underneath me, and I'm having to like try to aim downwards and couldn't even get a shot because they're like directly below me before I ever even realized where they were even coming from. Like
Yeah.
the way they sounded like it sounded like they're coming from this side, but they ended up coming from the right and ended up right below me. And before I could even get a shot, they were on their way.
And well, I guess that could be a separate topic. Okay, so I guess we've kind of mentioned planting food plots. I will tell you this: I plant a food plot every year, and it's about 40 or it's about 30 yards by 70 yards or 60 yards, somewhere around there. So it's fairly big, and it has woods around it and then an open field kind of on one half. But the deer have been used to it for years, so I get pretty consistent deer, and I will be planting it soon. And that's one thing you guys need to think about. But cameras are very important right now. You want to have pictures of what deer you want to target so you can make a game plan. Where is this deer going this season? And a lot of times on the opening day, the deer's pattern changes, but by getting at least a good idea of where they're at, it'll give you the best opportunity on opening day to land your target buck. Because if you don't have cameras, you're sitting there, and I have done this a lot. I've hunted. Cameras are kind of new to me. I don't know how long you've been using cameras, but you came from
Uh,
public land, so you might not have.
I've been using them the last 4 seasons.
Yeah. So I would say the last 2 seasons are really the first 2 seasons where I've really used cameras. A lot of it before that was bow season. I was hunting with the recurve, so I didn't have very many shots, but I'd be sitting in stands and I would see where the deer are coming from and basically scouting naturally. I'm not just thinking, "Oh man, they're out of range." I'm thinking, "Okay, they came from this way. How can I use that information to my benefit?" And that gets me deer every season. That's how you put meat on the table, is by figuring out the pattern of those deer. And also actually scouting. A camera can only see so far, and they can't see behind the tree, through the tree. But you know what you can do? You can swivel your head, so it does give you a lot to work with. So also scouting is a great idea, especially when you're talking about a new hunting spot and getting an idea of trails. Where do you think deer are? This is what this guy told me. He said, you scout this land. Say you have 5 cameras. You scout this land and you see what seems like deer signs between foods, and you put those 5 cameras in in 5 different spots where you think deer are walking through. After a week, you come by, you check those cameras. If you leave the two cameras that are getting the most pictures, move the other 3 towards those areas, and find another spot that seems good. So like you're kind of spreading out at first, and then you're zoning it in, and then do the same thing again after a week. Whichever one's got the most pictures, leave those 2 and move the 3 kind of in the area. And then all of a sudden, even though you only had 5 cameras, those 5 cameras were in 15 different spots. So you have basically scanned a whole bunch of area, and you can figure out a lot more than you could just by leaving them in the same spot all season. I personally leave it in the same spot the whole season, but I only have 2 cameras.
I
So
leave
I
it.
don't really.
We leave it in the same spot. We just have probably 10 cameras.
Yeah.
It's actually, you don't have to follow it exact, but for every 10 acres you hunt, it's recommended to have 1 camera per 10 acres. So the amount of land that we hunt, they would recommend 18 cameras. We have 10, and we're doing great.
Yeah. But I guess you guys also hunt, what would you say, 100 acres of it? Or maybe closer to the 120?
I don't know. There's 13 different spots.
But
Anytime we sit in a spot, we're guaranteed to be out of the way of the other people hunting on the property with us.
yeah,
There's plenty to choose from.
that's kind of the good part about. Although we don't have as many stands as you, our stands are pretty far apart. Besides my uncle Joey, who put a blind right there. Man, I guess I can't do much about it. Just hope that.
Hope that they realize that this isn't a good idea.
Yeah, my hunts are getting ruined because I was getting so many pictures at daytime, but as soon as that blind was there, those pictures basically disappeared.
It's too much in the open. Like, it's like a big O sign saying "Don't come this
Here,
way."
let me. I know I've told you where it's at, but let me pull up Google Earth and just show you this, so you can actually see this. Okay, you can't actually see it here, but Jaden, this is where I hunt right here. Can I drop a pin? No, I can't. But right here is where I hunt. This is where we plant the food plot. Come right here to the power lines, and his blind is right here. And you can see this is probably 30, 40 yards wide. But see these 2 trails, Jaden? Deer come from this trail right here, this trail, and they come from this trail here. And he put it right in the middle. You're supposed to hunt a little ways off the trail, but he put it, and it basically just disturbs everything. And because of that, it's just really hurt. It's really hurt my hunting. But I can't do much about it. So I just gotta I just gotta live with it and hunt different stands. But it sucks because it's ruined that food plot that we plant, which hopefully this year maybe we'll see different things. I'll try and
Try and negotiate.
yeah, I'll see what I can do. My grandpa's talking about moving the food plot, but I'd rather him plant another food plot, and then I have the versatility to hunt both food plots. You know what I mean? Because if they lose their main one, those deer are going to be upset They're gonna,
they're used to it. You may
yeah,
as
they're
well
used
not
to it.
take it away.
It's been there for ever since I've hunted there. There's been a food. Well, I say that. There's probably been a food plot there for 7 consecutive years at least. It's been there for a while, but and I've killed multiple deer on that food plot. Most of the deer I kill is out of that stand, but it's also real open, so it allows me to take some pretty far shots, and you're just able to see a lot of different paths that deer take because they come out of the woods and they walk the edge line and go back into the woods. And it's just a good spot all around, even without the food plot there. But prepare for deer season. You need to know if you want to be successful, you need to have a good idea of what the deer are doing, because if you don't have any idea, I guarantee that you'll be what is it?
Be shooting in the dark, man.
Yeah, shooting in the dark.
Like you're gonna be out there clueless, and your food and stuff you're putting out there is gonna start disappearing, and you ain't ever gonna see what's taking it because you don't know when or where they're coming from.
Yeah. It could be you could think, "Oh, this would be a great evening stand." But you don't have a camera there. The food is getting ate. Well, turns out they're eating in the morning, or it could be the other way around.
Or it could be 20 raccoons like our friend's having right now.
Dude,
I had to show you that picture, man. I was like, holy moly, I've never seen that. Like,
this one time I went over this hill. I was driving, and I was like, I just seen like it was probably close to 20 raccoons.
look at this. There's eyes everywhere.
There was this group of 3 coons that kept coming back to my feeder. Eventually, they stopped when the deer were consistently there.
There's even a possum with all the raccoons.
What? That's ridiculous.
Poor Joe.
Okay. Well, oh, that's Joe.
Poor Joe. He has such a small little property to hunt, and those coons are wiping out the corn.
Why doesn't he wipe out the coons?
He has been, and it seems like he killed like probably 5 or 6 last year, or trapped and relocated and everything.
They probably
And
just
then
come
there's
right
that
back.
many.
Well, let's get on to our campfire question. So, this is a question for both me and Jaden. What outdoor skill should everyone learn before they turn 18? Um, in all honesty, if you needed to learn a skill, I feel like the most important skill is definitely building a fire. I couldn't think of. There's a lot of things that go into fire, like knife work and stuff, axe work. But at the end of the day, if you can't start a fire, and you're out in the woods camping and it's cold, you're pretty screwed. If you need to eat food and you can't start a fire, you're pretty screwed. Starting a fire is man man-made fire, man-made sharp stick.
And not just with a lighter.
Yeah.
He don't mean just with a lighter either. You need to learn how to start a fire other ways. It's like an actual
Yeah.
fire starter.
Actual flint and steel, you know?
Something that doesn't ruin when it gets wet.
Yeah. Um, but or doesn't run out of the little liquid in it, so it can't light no more.
There's plenty of options. We'll probably show some eventually. I've got a couple at home, and I'm thinking about buying one of those forever matches.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, you like, it's like a flint and steel, and it's got like a handle, but you basically like push it into itself, and a spark shoots out at the same time. Like, I don't know. It's like it's like its own flint and steel together, and it's basically you just push it together real hard.
Huh. Yeah, I think building a fire, because you knowing what different fires are useful for, like knowing the difference between a teepee fire, a lean-to tire fire, a chimney fire, South Dakota fire or a Dakota fire. Like these fires have different purposes. You know, some are for cooking, some are for like a fireplace fire. You know, a chimney fire. That's more for like warmth, and you can put pots on it and cook pots. It's like a good fire, and its number one purpose is smoke signals. Like if you're out in the woods, although I don't know anything about smoke signals, so, but a lean-to fire, that's just a great all-around fire. It's easy to make, and it doesn't burn too hot, but it burns hot enough to cook food. A TP fire will burn a lot hotter and burn a lot more wood quicker, but it'll get a lot hotter, so you'll be a lot warmer, and you can cook food pretty well in a TP fire. And then the Dakota fire I mentioned is like a. Do you know what that is? You dig a hole, and then you dig a hole on the other end where the wind's coming from. And the point is, it's a smokeless fire. So when you need fire and you're trying to stay hidden, so in the future when people look for smoke and go hunt you down, if you know how to make the Dakota fire, you'll be able to build a fire that doesn't have smoke, which will arguably we probably don't need it in today's day and age, but at least knowing the general idea of how to build it is
I'd
would be
argue
pretty
you
helpful.
need the smoke in these
What?
woods. I said I'd argue you need the smoke in these woods. Them skeeters,
Yeah,
man.
these mosquitoes. Oh my
They're no
gosh.
joke, man. They'll pick your hand up and they'll start flying away with you.
That and I guess of course you got your I don't know what you would call it, lazy man fire, brush fire, just a bunch of crap thrown together,
My
which is pretty
papa's
common.
friend always called it the white man fire. He's like a hardcore native guy. He always called it the white man fire.
Like just wood piled together.
Yeah, he's like, see, you build white man fire.
Do you got a favorite fire?
You know? Not really. Like, I just depends on what I'm doing, really.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is an outdoor skill that someone should learn before they turn 18?
How to find water.
Oh yes, dowel rods.
How to find water, or a a way to purify your own water if you did find water.
Yeah, I've used a life straw before. I didn't get sick. They
Uh,
work.
They work. I've tried. I drank out of a puddle in the yard.
Don't ask what I drank.
It tastes earthy.
Don't do not that this will never be brought up what I drank out of that life straw. No. But I'll tell you this, pond water through a life straw ain't too bad.
It's got a little earthy taste, but
Yeah,
it's not.
but
It's not like what you think. it takes all the nastiness out of it. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure if you were drinking out of something super nasty, you're probably still gonna get some taste.
yeah.
Like if you're in Africa drinking like elephant sewage water, like it's probably still gonna taste funky.
So yeah, that's what you think finding water. Do you know how to use dowel rods?
Yeah,
I don't, but I've always seen them. I think they're so
I don't know
cool.
how. I don't even know if they truly work.
They say from the sounds of it, they actually do work. Um, but in all honesty, if you don't know how to clean water, one thing to remember: if the water is flowing like a creek and it looks clear, and that it will probably be your cleanest water. You look for flowing water. That's the secret. Just flowing, you know it's kicking a lot of that debris and leaving the sediment behind, and it's just straight water. So you can scoop it up, and if you know how to boil it, you can make a sediment filter. I'm sure you've seen them with like gravel, rock, sand.
Hmm.
You run the water through it, and the water, it's basically a life straw, except it's a natural life straw, you know. That in rainwater, if you have a clean bucket to collect rainwater, rainwater is usually a lot cleaner than your everyday lake water or
Given
other
it don't
places.
taste very good.
Yeah.
It does taste dusty.
but yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I hope you guys can take these skills, hopefully learn it. You know, we'll probably do a video on it, but you guys need to start preparing for hunting season. And you need to be thinking about what you're going to do, where you're going to hunt. You know, you need to be thinking about, like Jaden, for example, uses different broadheads each year. So, like, he has a good idea of what broadheads really work well and what maybe have really good ratings but aren't worth the ratings. Because
Yeah.
I guarantee there's probably a lot out there that have golden ratings but
Yep.
maybe not very good.
Yep. Definitely been there.
But just, you know, be thinking about what you'll be using. Because if you know that, uh, if you know that you're having issues with, say, your rifle feeding, because we had, you said it was JC's that jam. Well, I guess it was the ammunition that jam. Think about the ammunition. Definitely don't use reloaded ammunition that you haven't tested, because you might end up fighting a hog and getting around jammed. And I wish you luck, because a 9 mil versus a hog ain't the funnest fight.
It was not fun.
Oh man.
It was funny to laugh about at the end, but
Yeah.
wasn't fun in the moment.
Okay.
Trying to figure out what I was gonna do next.
Well, let's go ahead and close it out, guys. May your campfires burn bright,
May your adventures be worth telling.
and may the echoes in the timber always lead you home. It's been a good one.